Today we will be talking about how to effectively use Dotloop. So first, you can go to mykw.kw.com and log into your account. On the control panel, look for My Transactions. Click on the messages so that it'll just take you to Dotloop. Now, down here, you will see all of my current loops that I have listed. However, I have my filters set to show only things that are under contract, active, and private. If I were to check these three boxes, you would see the rest of the loops that I have archived or have sold in the past. They will stay in history for as long as, well, they will stay in history forever, and you will always be able to find them. All right. This flag over here will tell you notifications of this person has signed today, this document was signed, this document was viewed. You can look at those every day if you want, but if you have your settings accurate, then you'll be getting an email anyways. Okay, so let's start with creating a loop. First, on the red toolbar right here, you'll see Create a Loop. Click on that. Name it whatever you want to name it. It can be the buyer's name, it can be the address. Once you have typed it, whatever you want it to name it, make sure you press Create Loop. And from there, you will have the Add Documents section. You can add documents from your computer, from templates, or email. All right, so if you are working with a buyer or seller, you simply click this Templates section, and you will see on the left all the different templates that are already available for you. So if it's a listing, you just click on Listing, Mandatory. Select All. Add. Now, I would tell you the very fastest way to have all of these forms pre-populated for you is to go right under the name of the loop and click this Edit Details button. Under this Edit Details button, you can then tell the system what is the status of this loop. Is it active? Is it a sale? Is it a lease? And do you want to keep the name the same or change it to the property address that we type in? From there, you can see yourself and what is your role in this. Are you the listing agent? Are you the buyer's agent? What role are you? And then add people from here. This does pull directly from your KW system. So once you start typing in a name, you'll see it auto-populates for you, and you can choose from one of your clients that you already have in here. Now, if you do not already have them in here, that's fine. Just finish typing their name and their email address and what their role is, and then add. All right. Type in the property address information, street number, street name, city, state, zip code, county, and then as much as you fill out of this that you can, of this whole page, the more it will pre-populate your documents. But I would tell you at least have the property address and the people that are involved in the transaction. Once you're done, make sure you press this Save button here at the top. And then you will press Go Back to the Loop right here. Okay. So now your forms are going to be pre-populated. So we want to still check this box so that it'll check all of these documents and make sure that they are filled in properly. So we're going to just click Open. As you see, a box pops up that asks who all is involved in this transaction. Is there a buyer that you want to assign any fields to? Are there any sellers that you want to add to this loop? If you have not already done that under the Edit Details, then this is where you would add that person. So you would click Add Person, start typing in their name just like earlier, and it will pre-populate suggestions for you as well. All right, and then make sure you press the assign button afterwards. All right, let's scroll through the documents. All right, so here you'll see all these documents are formulated for you. So all you have to do is simply check boxes. And if you had assigned who is the seller and who is the buyer, their name would show up in these boxes instead of saying no one. Now let's say you only have one buyer or one seller and you don't need 2 signature fields. Well, the first one will say Tom Joe sign in this box, and then this one will say nothing. So what you could do is click on this box and go up here and click no one, anyone, or add someone else. Otherwise this will say seller and seller, and you'll end up with 2 signatures of the same person. All right, we scroll and do the same thing all the way through. Fill in every one of these boxes that you can. They're all fillable. All of these are checkable. Make sure you read through these properly so that you know what you're checking. Sign it, date it. Once you are done, completely done filling out all these documents, come up here to the very top of the screen to this red button that says Save and Share. And you click Save and Share. From there, another pop-up will appear with the person's name that you had typed in, with their email address, and then right here, if you leave it as view only, they will not be able to electronically sign. So you do want to make sure you say can sign or can fill out the forms and sign. I suggest you never put it on can edit in private. Anything that they type on those forms, you cannot see if you do this setting. So only do view only, can sign, or can fill and sign, and then press done or send in this option. All right, so I will show you in a current loop what that looks like. All right, so we're back to my home page. Let's say this loop right here. I'm waiting on someone to sign documents, and so as you can see, all of them say that I'm waiting on others to sign the documents. Now let's say your client emails you or calls you and says, I didn't get those documents you said you emailed me. Well, that's fine. Just go back into all the documents that they need to sign, check the boxes that they need to sign, and click Share again. You will notice that there's not a new person that can sign these documents. So you simply just go next to the person's name that did not get the documents and click on this down button and then re-share. It will then resend all of those documents to that same person again. Once all of these documents are signed and filled out properly, make sure you press Submit for review so that our office can see all of the documents in this loop that you have had signed. Now let's say you have a document that has been emailed to you and you want to put it into a loop. So let's say I have, let's see, okay, so I'm in my email and I've got all these attachments that I want to go into my loop so that I can turn them into our office. You can either print them all out, scan them back in, and then put them in Dotloop. That takes too long. So let's just press the forward button. And they want an email address of where we're going to forward this. So I would tell you go back to Dotloop, go to the exact loop that you want it in, and add a document right here where it says add document. And we're going to do it from an email. What it's going to do then is give you the email address for this specific loop. You simply copy that email address, go back to your email, and paste and send. All right, so now I will go and refresh this page. And normally all of those documents would have shown up here. All of these were JPEGs instead of PDF documents, so that was not a great example, but you get the idea. And from there, you can do the same thing. You can have your client e-sign them. You can just submit them for review. If you are at the office and you have paperwork that you have scanned on the scanner at the office to your Dotloop email address, it will show up at this top section in templates. It will show up in your inbox. It will be listed as whatever the scanner named it. So it'll probably show up as document blah, 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 and it'll be in bold since no one has ever clicked on it. From there, you can check that box and you can click on this arrow down here and rename the document, or you can copy it to a Dotloop loop or a template. So let's say we want this earnest money to go into that test template that we did a minute ago. We just simply type in the name. This is the loop we want it to go to. Copy it. And it's there now. So here's proof. Go back to our loops. Go back to, uh-oh, I got my filters changed. Filter. Okay, test loop. Go back to test loop. And here's that earnest money we just copied to it. So you can either email to your Dotloop email address that is in our scanner, or email it to the exact Dotloop email address that is listed in that loop. Remember, you can pause these videos at any time or rewind for more tips or to go back and refresh yourself. If you have any further questions from here, be sure to get with me or anyone at the office. Thanks.